Hi guys, this is Pete from Ashton's Cars. Today I'm taking you around this 54 plate BMW E60, or BMW 5 Series as you more commonly know it. This is a 530 diesel model. It's originally, I think 218 horsepower these are, automatic, 6-speed. Great cars. I have got one of these cars myself. This particular one though I'm looking at is a high mileage example. It's done 239,000 miles. So I'm showing you a little bit about the car, but also, you know, how that car has bared up to that sort of mileage. BMW have got a fantastic reputation for reliability, for strong cars that are well built, well put together, and that stand the test of time. And I think this 5 Series is testament to that. It's obviously not a brand new car. It's obviously got a few little marks here and there on it, but it really does still look very presentable to me, and it drives phenomenally well. Now, as I said a minute ago, these have got about 218 horsepower, the original 530 diesel of the E60. Went up to 231 then in about 2006, and then the latter ones have got a little bit more again, but for this year it would have been 218 horsepower. This car I've been driving, and comparing it to my own 230 horsepower example, this is a lot faster. There's no way on earth this has only got 218 horsepower. So someone at some point has obviously remapped this car, and I'm trying to dig out some paperwork to see what's been done to it. But it does feel like it's about 280 to 300 horsepower coming out of this car, because it's an absolute flying machine. So you would expect a 239,000 mile car to feel more sluggish than it did when it was new, but I can tell you now, this car is an absolute monster. It's really quick. So not quite sure exactly what it's producing power wise, but I can tell you it's very fast. It's a 6-speed automatic gearbox on these. They've got the Tiptronic function and the sports mode, which are there for a little bit more performance again. They don't really need it because there's so much torque. It's like a train, this thing is, the way it pulls. It's absolutely phenomenal. So, high mileage examples of BMW E60s are quite commonplace. They're a car that has got a very good reputation for lasting a long time. In fact, they've got a better reputation than the F10, the newer 5 Series that replaced them. These are a stronger car. The engines, certainly on these earlier models, were very robust indeed. Timing chains don't seem to give any problems on these models, and even at 239,000, I'm assuming it's on its original timing chain, and there's no noise from that chain at all. It still sounds very smooth. In fact, I'll start it up for a minute and in a minute's time and show you myself. So I have had this car in a little bit of time, and I've been sort of just toying with it and messing around as to what we do with it. And what I have done is I've had the headlights re-lacquered on the car. So these now look are absolutely perfect. Whereas when I first had the car in, it did look like it had cataracts on those headlights. It is... Can you see that? It is an 18-year-old car, and it has done a high mileage, so there's some stone chips on the bonnet, but overall it still has a good shine to it. Still looks very presentable. When I'm stood like I am now, about 6 foot away from the car, it looks the part. Sitting on its original wheels. These, I believe, are they 17 or 18 inch? I can't even see. But they're original wheels. They're in good condition. They're 17 inch wheels, are they? Yeah, 17s. Size smaller than I've got on my own personal car, but this is what this car would have come with originally. Some 5 Series have got staggered wheels. This one has just got the standard 17 inch. You can get the 18 inch staggered wheels on some, and that's what I've got on my own personal one, but it still looks quite good with these alloys here. Now, coming around the back here, just want to draw your attention to a little bit of peel there on the bumper. It's not massive, but you know, bear in mind what we're talking about here, 239,000 mile car, so little bits and marks and stuff like that are to be expected. There's also a very light graze on this bumper corner. Again, once I'm about 5 foot away from the car, it doesn't really show up. The back bumper has got a few little marks from loading and unloading the car, but you'll be pleased to see that when I open the boot, it's not really showing any sign of wear hardly at all. It's in very good condition, in fact, back here. Massive boots on these cars, one of the reasons I've got one, incidentally. If you carry lots of tools around like I do sometimes, they're a perfect vehicle for it. And they're also very secure because it's a proper saloon. Coming around this side, a little bit of paint fallout on this corner here on the bumper. Again, we're not going to get too critical because of its age and mileage, but just to point out any potential buyer, it's not a brand new car, as I said. Wheels on this side, very similar in that they are in very good condition. And coming down the side of the car, you can see it's quite a straight level thing, this car is. Onto that front wheel, a couple of small grazes on it, but nothing major at all. Now this bumper here has obviously been touched in at some point because it's got a little bit of a mark that's been touched in, I can see there. It's not horrendous, it's not horrific, and again, once I'm about 5-6 foot away from the car, I can't really see it. So, it's not perfect by any standard, but if this was a 100,000 mile car, I would be saying it was in fairly good condition. At 239,000 miles, I'd say it's pretty incredible. You'll notice I've not pointed out any rusts or anything like that because there isn't any. These things don't rust. In fact, the only real bit of deterioration I can find is that this wing mirror cover here has started to, the aluminium's going through on it. It's just painted aluminium when they're new, and some of the paint has just risen up off that, which is quite normal on an aluminium finish. Right, let's show you the back first. Again, another reason I've got one of these is they are huge, very spacious, full black leather on it, looks the part, got rear ventilation as well to keep your passengers hot or cool, depending on the time of year. The air conditioning pumps all the way to the back of here, so it's ideal in the summertime if you've got kids. This car has got blacked out glass at the back. I will point out that the rear one, well, it's got a few air bubbles in it, let's just put it that way. It's not perfect, but it's blacked out properly. It does look very, very good and quite stylish. And when we come to the front of the car, nice big leather chairs. You'll notice, look, hardly any wear on this seat, despite 239,000 miles. That's unbelievable. And also, even the carpets, very little wear on there, really. Most cars at 100,000 miles have got a lot more wear in them than this BMW has at nearly 250,000. So that just goes to show the strength of these cars. So, getting behind here, it's beeping away at me because it doesn't like being packed up with the battery draining. So let's just start it up. And there she is. Right, so we've got an iDrive computer on this car. It is one of the older iDrive systems and it's quite basic, really. You can go up for communications and it'll tell you that there isn't a phone installed. You can go right for climate, and it'll give you various options for the centre vents and the passenger and driver. And we can go down for entertainment, and we got a radio, FM stereo, AM stereo radio, and a CD player. So it's fairly basic in terms. This car has not got Bluetooth or anything like that. It's one of the earlier models of this 5 Series. But what we have got, well, we've got nice simple heating controls. We've got a nice easy to use CD player. We've got cup holders here which come out like so and are all intact and working. And we've got an interior that feels like it's been built to last an eternity, which is just as well because, as we can see here, the car has done 239,000 miles. You'll notice there is an airbag light on currently, I think. We'll obviously get that taken out, you know, and repaired before it goes in. I think it's just while we've had the valeter in here, he's adjusted the seats. Sometimes it pulls the wires underneath them, so it might just need a reset, but it might, if it needs a sensor, we'll be doing that before it goes out. So yeah, we've got a good layout on the car. It has got front and rear park sensors as well. It has got cruise control, and as I said, it has got air conditioning, and that blows ice cold. So despite the mileage, things like aircon, they're all working. The cruise I've been using, that works perfectly too. So typical BMW, everything in here feels well built. Better built than a new one, actually, because these were much better put together back in the day. And yeah, let me give it a quick rev. Just purrs away. 6-cylinder BMW engines are always among the finest ones you'll ever find, and in this particular car, it sounds sweet as a nut. They do sound a little bit like a express train when they pull off. They do go a little bit like an express train as well. It's very, very easy to accumulate a huge amount of speed in this car as you're accelerating. It's a very, very quick thing indeed. It was quick when it was standard, and this one, as I said, is one of the fastest 530s I've ever driven. It's certainly, I would say, it's in excess of 280 horsepower, whatever's been done to it. Not much more to show you really, guys. I mean, it kind of speaks for itself. I really just thought it was a good thing to show you a car that has done a few miles, that has obviously lived a bit of a life, but I think has got plenty more left in it. And I have seen, because I've got a BMW E60, I am on the forums for these, and I've seen these with 3, 4, a couple with 500,000 miles on them. So if they're looked after properly, they will look after you and go on forever. This particular one, well, it's now available for sale. So if you're interested in it, give me a call. My number's 07932 873 646. And please obviously give us a like, a share and subscribe to our channel for more car buying advice and more cars like this that we've got available for sale here at Ashton's Cars. That number one more time is 07932 873 646. Give us a call. We're happy to take part exchange. We're happy to arrange delivery around the UK. Just give us a ring and we'll work out a deal to suit you. But in the meantime, thanks for watching. Have a great day and goodbye for now.